Hey, what's going on? Erik Cortina here. So, I recently saw an episode of Backfire where Jim brought out somebody who was trolling him in the comment section. So the backstory is, Jim said in a live stream that he really didn't know anybody that could go 100 for 100 out to 600 yards in a hunting scenario. So this person started trolling him and said, yep, I can do it. I do it all the time. Something along those lines. The point is, Jim brought him out to see if he really could do it.
You ready for this?
Very excited.
Good to meet you.
Nice meeting you too.
Slept okay in the hotel last night?
Slept very well, caught up on sleep, so...
So what do you think? You're going to do this challenge?
And spoiler alert, he could not do it.
And right before I went to go shoot, slipped right off, right as soon as I was pulling the trigger. So things happen, no big deal.
Of course, Mr. Hootie Hoo and Mr. Ron Spomer also in the comment section said I should try it. And of course, as you guys know, I'm always up for a good challenge. So I told Jim, sure, I'll do it. However, now I have to decide what rifle I need to do it with. So I asked Jim, what am I going after? This is a hunting scenario. What kind of game am I pursuing? And he says, well, let's just say antelope. I said, great. I needed to know that so I know what kind of rifle to bring. Obviously, the person that did the challenge brought out a 300 Win Mag with no muzzle brake, no anything. So to me, that was not the right choice of rifle. And that's why I wanted to ask. So of course he said antelope. I said, perfect. So now I have to decide which rifle to bring. Now, you guys know what I do. I am a competitive long range shooter. So if I'm gonna go on a hunt, the shots are gonna be out to 600 yards, I know what it takes. And I know a very budget rifle, it's probably not gonna do it. And even if it does, it's gonna stack the odds against me. So I reach in my safe and I say, well, let me see what I have here that could possibly work. So let me show you what I have. Well, first, you guys know this is the Neatsmore. This is a Neatsmore number 2. This is the one that shot the best. It's a Remington 700 in an Oryx chassis. The action, we haven't done anything to it. We put a bolt hand on here and we replaced the bolt shroud. Other than that, it's a factory rifle, factory barrel. We did add an easy tuner brake. And of course, we added a trigger. We have a Trigger Tech Diamond, and that's pretty much it. Pretty standard configuration. This is in 6.5 Neatsmore. And of course, this is the number 2, because we had 2, if you guys remember that. So this would possibly be an option. Obviously, I know how this rifle shoots. It's not the greatest. It's pretty good. It's about 3/4 MOA. It's sub MOA, but I probably, if I was gonna go on a hunt where the shots are expected to be out to 600 yards, even though this would be a good candidate, I probably would not take this rifle. It's lightweight. It checks all the boxes except for, I want a little bit more precision than 1 MOA or 3/4. So that's that. We have the second Neatsmore. This is pretty much the identical rifle to the first one that I just showed you, except this one has a pre-fit barrel. It's a bigger barrel. It does shoot better. It is also in 6.5 Neatsmore. It still has a Collis 3-18 first focal plane with mil dot. That's what I would take as far as scope goes. Especially when the shots are long, you want, in my opinion, you want first focal plane, you want mil dot, and you want the ability to dial your elevation, okay? This is, like I said, it has a pre-fit barrel, so this is gonna be a heavier setup. It's also in an Oryx chassis. It has a Flavio Faria trigger, and it has a backstop recoil pad. It also has a next generation easy tuner brake. This rifle, I know you guys haven't seen it in the channel yet. You will soon as I'm preparing for this hunt, but this rifle shoots about half MOA. So it's quite a bit better than the other Neatsmore. And I think this would be a better candidate. It's a little heavier, but I think it would work. The next rifle that I have is my PRS rifle, 6x47 Lapua. This has a Collis K525 scope, so a little bit more power on the upper end. It's still first focal plane. It is mil-dot scope, and like I said, this is the type of scope that I would use for hunting. I know most people say, well, for hunting, you want MOA. No, I disagree. I think first focal plane, something that you can dial your shots, your elevation on, and something that you can make quick wind corrections with would be my choice for hunting. I mean, this is, a lot of people are gonna call this a target scope. Well, animals are targets, and the intention is to hit them where we intend. So again, enough of that. This is a custom action. This is a Borden Mountaineer action. Trigger Tech Diamond trigger. So as far as that goes, this is a sub half MOA rifle. It has a custom barrel. This is a Brooks barrel, MTU. It has an easy tuner brake with a muzzle brake in front. So ACC Elite chassis. So this is a full-blown competition rifle, but I mean, it would absolutely work for antelope. It's a little bit on the heavier side, obviously, but this rifle could absolutely get the job done. The only problem would be carrying out on the field, but as far as confidence level, this rifle, I would feel a lot more confident making a shot at 600 yards than the other two rifles that I showed you. Even though the 6.5 Creedmoor has higher ballistics, better ballistics, the 6x47, because of its greater precision, I think for me would be easier to make a shot with this rifle compared to the other ones. The next rifle that I have is my 6BR. This is on a Borden Super Short 6 action. It is a Trigger Tech Diamond trigger. It's on a foundation stock. It also has a Collis K525 scope on here. Again, first focal plane, mil-dot. It also has an MTU Brooks barrel on here with the same setup as my 647. Easy tuner with a brake in the front. Again, this is a 6BR, so the ballistics are not as great as my 647, but it is an extremely, extremely precise rifle. This rifle shoots about the same as my 647, maybe a little better. Obviously recoil is next to nothing, so spotting my hits or misses would be a lot easier. Obviously the intention is to not have any misses, but let me be honest with you. I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can be 100%. I can't get all the targets. I already told Jim the same thing, and I agree with him. I don't think anybody should be taking 600-yard shots on game, but of course, that's kind of how the whole thing started for him. But that's a separate story. The idea here for his challenge is to see if anybody can do it, and obviously, I'm gonna try. So again, this is the other rifle that I have that I would feel extremely confident with, but it's also kind of heavy. And I know what you guys are probably thinking. Well, Eric, those rifles are worth a lot of money. The average person could not afford those rifles. I understand, but at the same time, I don't think the average person should be taking long-range shots, especially without really, really good equipment. Those shots are to be, if they are to be made, in my opinion, every effort should be made to ensure a hit. And that includes spending a lot of money on a rifle, and that includes learning how to shoot that rifle. If you're gonna shoot a 600-yard shot, that should not be the first time you ever shoot a 600. And in my opinion, you should be very proficient at distances much farther than that, at least 1,000 yards. So again, that's a whole separate topic, but this is the other rifle that I would take. Now, what about factory offerings? What, you guys want to go on a hunt and I don't know, maybe you don't have time to build something like this. Well, there's one more option. And I saw this at SHOT Show and I just had to try it because it looked like a really good setup. So let's get another factory rifle that I think might just work. Here it is. This is the Aero Precision Solus. This is their hunting model. This is lightweight. It has a Sendero contour barrel. So this is a hunting rifle. I would say this is a long-range hunting rifle. It is a 6.5 Creedmoor. So obviously ballistically it's very good. There's some things that I believe are missing. I would want, if you guys notice, all of these rifles that I showed you have an Arca rail on the bottom. Based on what I saw in the video, it is going to be very important that I'm able to get off the ground to shoot from a supported position. And I believe a tripod is the way to go. So I'm going to need a way to attach a tripod on this rifle quickly. So one of the modifications I'm going to do is add a Arca rail. Obviously, I'm going to need a way to attach a bipod. And of course, the Arca rail is going to give me that also. Obviously, we're going to need a scope. We're going to need a muzzle brake. We're going to need a muzzle brake. And of course, I'm just going to put one of my EC tuner brakes on here, the next generation. That should take care of the recoil pretty good. The next thing is a scope. Well, you guys, based on what you guys already saw, you probably have a pretty good idea as to what I'm planning on using. Collis K525, mil dot, first focal plane. I believe for a hunting setup, the Collis 3-18 might be a better scope. It still gives you the functionality of the 525, but in a lighter package. However, it's on the needs more, and since I'm going to be testing them, I don't want to remove that scope and be swapping them back and forth. So I'm going to put the 525 on here. I'm going to use a sended level, electronic level. I'm going to mount this level on this scope. And for that, I'm going to use this scope mount from MDT as well. I'm going to mount it using a one-piece mount. I like one-piece mounts. I like how strong they are. And I got the low one, so I'm going to try to keep that scope low to the barrel. It doesn't really matter. It's just, this has an adjustable cheek piece, so that's gonna help. But I wanna be able to get a really good cheek weld. But I need to be able to adjust it based on whether I'm gonna be shooting prone or I'm gonna be shooting off the bipod, because that changes. As far as sling mounts, I'm probably gonna put some quick change cups. I don't know yet, but the point is we're gonna take this out, we're gonna test it, and then we're gonna see if we can't get this thing set up and test it to where I'm confident that I could make the shots with this rifle. Again, it is an excellent rifle, lightweight. The build and finish on this rifle is great. You guys know that I don't really have factory rifles on this channel, but this one impressed me enough that I just had to get one. So now, ammunition. What are we gonna feed it? That's another question, right? Because that's also very important. It doesn't matter that you can have the best rifle in the world. If you can't get the bullet to the target efficiently and repeatedly, none of that matters. So for ammo, we're gonna test two different Berger ammo. We have the 140 grain hybrid target and the 130 grain hybrid OTM tactical. I'm gonna shoot both of these through the 6.5s and see if we can get them shooting good enough. If this doesn't give us what we're looking for, The other option is to hand load. So for my 6BR and my 647, I'm already hand loading. So obviously I would not try factory ammunition in those. However, I think the weight of those rifles disqualifies them from doing this challenge. They're just, they're too heavy and, in my opinion, a bit impractical, especially if you're gonna be carrying them around in the field. So we're just gonna say, as of right now, I know they shoot great, but I'm gonna say they're probably not gonna make the trip. Let's weigh them. My 6BR, as it sits without a mag, it is 18 pounds, 13 ounces. Heavy, fully dressed, it's probably gonna be 19 and a half pounds. So it's a heavy one. So because of that, this one's probably not gonna make the trip. My 647, again, believe it or not, it feels lighter than my 6BR. £17 pounds, 10 ounces. It is lighter. Again, it's a great rifle, and I think it absolutely could do it. But I think carrying 18 pounds in the field is probably not very practical. So for that reason, we're gonna scratch it from the list for now. I keep saying for now because if the others don't meet my requirements, then I'm just gonna have to get in shape and carry one of these in the field. The 6.5 Needmore with the pre-fit barrel is still pretty heavy. It's 15 pounds, 10 ounces. Again, you still have to add a mag and ammo, so you're looking at about 16 and a half pounds. It's not light. But again, we're going for 600-yard shots. A light rifle is hard to make long shots with. So again, 16 pounds. Now the other Needmore with a factory barrel, still pretty heavy. 12 pounds, 3 ounces. Again, by the time you add a mag and sling and all that, you're probably gonna be 12, 9 to 13 pounds. So still not light, but again, you don't want a super light rifle when you're making 600-yard shots. And last but not least, the Aero Precision Solus. Now I can tell you, this thing's light. Rifle by itself is 8 pounds, 13 ounces. We add the scope. Now we're at 10 pounds, 15 ounces. Because we have the mount and the center level. Now, if the center level is too heavy, we can always add another level, just above a level. Now, why is the level so important? Well, if you're going to be making long-range shots, you need to make sure your crosshairs are perfectly perpendicular so that you are actually holding the elevation that you think you are. All right. We are at 11 pounds, 2 ounces. We still need the rings. We're gonna put it in a set of MDT low 34 millimeter, one piece mount. So £11 pounds, 12 ounces. We still have to add an arc rail and of course mag and ammo. So I'm gonna say we're at 11, 12. Let's call this 12 pounds even. We're probably gonna add another pound with the arc rail. So I'm looking at about 13 pounds with this rifle, 13 to 13 and a half. Still not light, but much lighter than the others. And I think this could get the job done. So that's where we're at right now. I'm gonna start working on this. I'm gonna take these rifles out over the next few episodes. And two things. We're gonna find out how good this bad boy can shoot. And two, we're gonna select the rifle so that we can do the backfire challenge. We may have to do a blackjack challenge with this one. Anyway, Let me know which rifle you would take based on what you saw today. And wish me luck. It's gonna be a fun challenge. Also, what do you think about first focal plane milled out reticle scopes for hunting? In my opinion, I think it's the only way to go, but I know that kind of goes against popular opinion, but from the competitive target shooting side and point of view, I believe that's the only way to go. I don't know. What do you think? All right, that's it. Thank you. Keep them centered.